You've been told a lie, that waking up at 5 a.m. or even just earlier requires brutal willpower, forcing yourself out of bed like a superhero. The truth is, it requires a simple biological shutdown sequence the night before. Forget willpower. I'm going to show you the science. Welcome back to Take and Grow, your source for mastering your mindset and building lasting success habits.
Dr. Tanaka, that cuts deep. That brutal willpower lie is something I think everyone who's ever battled their alarm clock feels. I know I should wake up early. I read about the benefits, quiet time, exercise, getting ahead. But every morning, that snooze button is just irresistible. I hit it 3, 4, maybe 5 times, and then I start my day feeling rushed, groggy, and already behind. It ruins my motivation.
You've perfectly described the pain point, Maria, and it's incredibly common. That feeling of knowing better but failing in the moment, that reliance on morning willpower that crumbles before you're even fully conscious, it's a recipe for frustration. But the fundamental mistake is focusing all the effort on the morning. Waking up refreshed and energized isn't primarily about what you do when the alarm rings. It's about what you did 8 to 10 hours beforehand.
The night before? So, the secret to a successful morning actually starts when I'm getting ready for bed? That feels counterintuitive.
It often does because we're conditioned to think of waking up as a morning battle. But biologically, it's the logical conclusion of your previous evening's preparation. That biological shutdown sequence I mentioned is about intentionally signaling to your brain and body that it's time to wind down, facilitating deep, restorative sleep so that waking up becomes less of a fight and more of a natural transition.
Okay, biological shutdown sequence. That sounds scientific and much more manageable than brutal willpower. What does this sequence actually involve? Are we talking about complex biohacking?
Not at all. It's primarily about understanding and respecting your body's natural rhythms, your circadian rhythm, and implementing basic principles of sleep hygiene. These are simple, science-backed adjustments to your evening routine that optimize your body's natural sleep processes, particularly the production of melatonin, the sleep hormone. Forget the 5 a.m. myth that demands superhuman discipline. Focus on mastering your evening. This aligns perfectly with Take and Grow's focus on building sustainable success habits through practical strategies.
All right, Dr. Tanaka, let's get into the science. Circadian rhythm, melatonin, how do these play into making my morning alarm less terrifying?
Think of your circadian rhythm as your body's internal 24-hour clock. It regulates cycles of sleepiness and alertness. This clock is heavily influenced by external cues, the most powerful being light. Exposure to bright light, especially blue light from screens, tells your brain, it's daytime, stay alert. Conversely, darkness signals the pineal gland in your brain to produce melatonin, which makes you feel sleepy.
So my late-night phone scrolling is basically telling my brain it's noon when I want it to be bedtime? No wonder I can't fall asleep easily.
Precisely. That's the first and perhaps most crucial step in the shutdown sequence. Step 1. Manage light exposure 90 to 120 minutes before bed. Dim the lights, lower the overall brightness in your home. Use lamps instead of bright overhead lights. Kill the blue light. This is critical. Avoid screens, phones, tablets, computers, TV in the last hour or two before bed. If you absolutely must use them, employ blue light filters or night mode settings and keep brightness low. Consider blue light blocking glasses. Embrace darkness. Make your bedroom as dark as possible for sleep. Use blackout curtains. Cover LEDs on electronics. Darkness optimizes melatonin production.
Okay, dim lights, no screens. That feels like a big change, but I can see the logic. What else is part of this sequence?
Next is managing internal and external stimuli. Step 2. Control your environment and inputs. 60 to 90 minutes before bed. Cool down. Your body temperature naturally drops to initiate sleep. Help it along by keeping your bedroom cool, around 18 to 20 degrees Celsius or 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. A warm bath or shower before this cool-down period can paradoxically help by causing a subsequent drop in body temperature. Cut off stimulants. Avoid caffeine for at least 6 to 8 hours before bed. Avoid large meals and excessive fluids close to bedtime. Alcohol might make you feel drowsy initially, but it significantly disrupts sleep quality later in the night. Mind the noise. Create a quiet sleep environment or use white noise or earplugs if needed. Step 3. Create a wind-down ritual, 30 to 60 minutes before bed. This is about signaling relaxation to your brain. Replace stimulating activities with calming ones. This could include light reading, a physical book, not on a bright screen, gentle stretching or mobility, nothing intense, journaling, get thoughts and worries out of your head onto paper, meditation or deep breathing, actively calm your nervous system, listening to calming music or a podcast, non-stimulating content, planning briefly for tomorrow. Write down your top 1 to 3 priorities so your brain doesn't churn on them overnight.
A ritual, like a buffer zone between the chaos of the day and sleep, instead of just crashing after watching TV?
Exactly. It's a consistent routine that trains your brain, okay, these activities mean sleep is coming soon. Step 4, consistency is king. Every night. Go to bed and wake up around the same time every day, even on weekends as much as possible. This reinforces your circadian rhythm like nothing else. If you want to wake up at 6 a.m. during the week, waking up at 11 a.m. on Saturday throws your internal clock completely off, making Monday morning brutal again.
Ouch, the weekend lay-ins. That consistency piece is tough, but makes sense for training the body clock. So, light management, environment control, wind-down ritual, and consistency. That's the sequence?
That's the core of the biological shutdown sequence. It's not about finding some magic pill or forcing yourself with sheer will. It's about creating the optimal conditions for your body to sleep deeply and wake naturally, or at least with significantly less struggle. When you get enough quality sleep because your evening routine supported it, that 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. alarm feels less like an enemy and more like a gentle nudge.
Okay, this night before approach makes so much sense biologically. It explains why relying solely on morning willpower feels like such a losing battle. Why does willpower fail us so spectacularly in those early hours?
Willpower is a finite resource, often described like a muscle that fatigues with use throughout the day. By the time you wake up, especially if you haven't slept well, your executive function, the part of your brain responsible for decision-making and impulse control, is at its lowest point. It hasn't fully rebooted. Asking that groggy, pre-coffee brain to make a difficult decision, get up now versus stay in this warm bed, against the powerful biological urge for more sleep because you didn't prepare properly the night before, is setting yourself up for failure.
You're basically asking the weakest version of yourself to fight the hardest battle.
Precisely. The biological shutdown sequence works because it reduces the difficulty of that morning decision. If you've slept deeply and your body is naturally moving towards wakefulness around your target time, the cost of getting up feels much lower. Your executive function doesn't have to fight such an intense biological urge. You're working with your biology, not against it.
So the goal isn't to become a willpower machine, but to make waking up require less willpower in the first place.
That's the sustainable path. Discipline isn't just about forcing yourself. It's often about designing your environment and routines to make the right choices easier. This evening routine is a prime example of designing for success.
And what about the morning itself? Does implementing the sequence change how you feel when you wake up? Does it actually help create that productive morning routine everyone talks about?
Absolutely. When you wake up feeling more refreshed and less groggy because your sleep was optimized, you have the mental and physical energy to actually engage in a positive morning routine. Instead of hitting snooze and then rushing chaotically, you have time for things that set a positive tone for the day. Maybe some light exercise, meditation, journaling, planning, or deep work before the day's demands kick in. Waking up early without struggle isn't the end goal. It's the enabler of a more intentional, focused, and energized start to your day. It creates the space for those other crucial success habits.
It connects everything. The night before routine enables the easier wake up, which enables the positive morning routine, which sets you up for a more productive, less reactive day. It's a virtual cycle, replacing the vicious cycle of snoozing and rushing.
You've got it. That's the power of focusing on the system, not just the desired outcome. So let's recap the science-backed way to actually wake up early without hating your life. Forget the morning willpower battle and focus on mastering your biological shutdown sequence the night before. Manage light. Dim lights, kill blue light from screens 90 to 120 minutes before bed. Control your environment. Keep it cool, dark, quiet. Avoid late stimulants. Create a wind-down ritual. Replace screens and stress with calming activities 30 to 60 minutes before bed. Be consistent. Stick to a regular sleep schedule as much as possible.
This approach feels so much more achievable and less like self-punishment. It's about working smarter with our biology.
Exactly. It's about designing your evenings to create the mornings you desire, leading to more focused, productive, and fulfilling days. It's a cornerstone success habit.
If you're ready to ditch the snooze button and try this science-backed approach, hit that like button to commit.
And if you're dedicated to building confidence, mastering your mindset, and implementing sustainable success habits, subscribe to Take and Grow. Share this video with anyone who struggles with their alarm clock.
Let's make this actionable tonight. What is one specific change you will make to your evening routine tonight as part of your biological shutdown sequence? Will it be putting the phone away earlier, dimming the lights, starting a reading ritual? Share your commitment in the comments below.
Thanks for tuning in to Take and Grow. Here's to better evenings and, consequently, much brighter mornings.